I'm sitting here on the side of the road waiting on Lynn to get some supplies for our trip into a remote area of the Philippines today. And I was just thinking about religious extremism, whether it's Christians, Muslims, or whatever. You've all seen those people. And the Jews, they have their Torah, it's on their head, wrapped around their arms, and they're doing those prayers against the wall. And the Muslims, doing their prayers, and they're celebrating death of their enemies and all this stuff, and they're just like under a religious spell. The Christians are, there's two enemies fighting each other, but both sides are Christian, and both sides praying to their God that their God will give them victory over, their brothers. You think of the word that it's like everybody is under the spell of the spelling. Everybody has their holy books, and when you look at that word, to spell a word, you are spelling, casting a spell. They call it a spelling bee when you're going to spell words. And a book is bound. It's binding. It's in a binding. So the spell is binding. It has people bound to this carnal world. It's keeping them in the land of Nod. It's keeping them asleep. All right? They are caught in the spell, and I believe it's written that the whole world is under a spell. The whole world is under the spell of the spelling, and they're bound in its bindings of their religious books, everything that's outside of them, instead of taking the real journey within. And when you take the real journey within, that's when you find the real monsters, your pride, your ego, all these things. You have to fight your own devils in order to find that peace that surpasses all understanding, to get you to the real end of the journey, to defeat the real enemy. And the real enemy is you. That's why it's written they overcame him by the word of their testimony and the blood of the Lamb. But it said they overcame him, and that word in Greek for him is themselves. I love you all. God bless.